Okay, well, in this section, what we're going to do is start building our working example app. But before we do that, we need to move on to looking at some form of specification. Even on little apps like this, I like to just sketch out basic plan, basic layout, get my thoughts in line, and just remind myself of the controls that I'm actually going to do. So for this example, what we're going to do is have a look here. I've drawn out a bit of a tab, a file, close, and then we'll close the app. We've got a list bar here. We've got help. This is my attempted a tree view, and then a little bit of explanation of what do we expect to happen if we have a tree expand event, what happens if we click on something, what happens if we right click on it, a little bit of logic associated with the list view, and then a basic layout of how the form might look. So a bit of a tree view here and a couple of panes. And with a bit of luck and fair wind, if we get this right, then hopefully it'll look like this. You can see that we'll have our list view that will ask for alphabetical or geographic area. We'll get A to Z. If we click on a letter, we'll get an alphabetical list of customers beginning with that letter. If we click on down here in the geo areas, we're getting an alphabetical list of all the customers in the geographical area, and then some data in a couple of panes. So that's looking good. So once we've got our basic spec, let's move on to the first step, which will be to create our app. We'll add our toolbar. We'll probably add the online help pane because that's the easy bit to do. And we'll wire up our VB script and just get the basics going. Okay, well, you'll be familiar with this user interface by now, but just to recap about the sample apps, if you go to open, down here, you'll find those sample apps I often refer to. To use them and edit them, you'll need to copy them and rename them. They won't run in the designer and they won't run from the Syspro menu by design. So that's what you've got to do with those. We'll just get cracking with creating our new app. So we'll press new here. We'll give it a name. What do you reckon? TR training tree view 1. So we'll do tree view example. It's a good start. Don't forget that at the bottom here, these properties here help with the support team. So we'll just put who's responsible for writing this and version to start. I do want to show them in the about window and a bit of a note saying this is a test app for my training course. Okay, that's fairly good. We will just simply scroll up here and go to design toolbar. Remember that if you do accidentally click somewhere and lose the application details, you get back to it by clicking here. So we'll go to design toolbar now. The first thing, we want our file. So we'll do file here. Remember, you've got your event IDs being allocated. I tend to make a little note of these a little bit later on. Give it a tooltip. File menu. Oops. Help if I could spell, which is okay. What we'll do next is we'll add a button and we'll make that close. And that'll be close app. Okay, so at this point in time, what I'd like to do just sort of get these in the right place. So we'll just simply customize that, pop on here, cross and down, and now we've got it hidden away. Then we'll nip back to design toolbar. Now this is where I'm going to put my combo box in here. You don't have to do them in the sequence that they're going to appear, because clearly you could use a customize to move them around, but it just helps. So this prompt, remember, is asking me, I want to key any data into the combo box or not? In the getting started course, we keyed the customer number in here. In this instance, I don't. I just simply want a fixed list to select from. So I'll say no to that. And we'll say list by tooltip select tree view sequence. And then what we've got to do is enter the list. And we've also got a width thing here, because as you created it, defaults about 100 pixels wide. So we'll probably set that to about 150. Obviously, you can come in and change it to your heart's content. Then we'll enter our list. So we want A, B, and we'll use an enumerator. It's looking good. Okay, so that's got that sorted out. And then finally, we want a button for our help. So we'll do help. The tooltip here will be display help screen. And I like to put an icon on this thing, adds a bit of color to the tooltip, but the toolbar rather. So that's looking reasonably good. So if we run this now, and we'll save it, is your file name if you remember. Okay, looking reasonable. We've got our close, we've got our alphabetical and geo areas, and we've got our help screen. So yeah, fine, that's good. So we just need to start wiring up our VB script now. So we'll nip back, edit script. Okay, so I know everybody's styles are different, but I'm just going to copy some bits and pieces in here to start my basics going. So we start with, I like to at least put in the who's responsible. I know we've done it already, but sometimes people just nip straight in and have a look at the code. So TV1, and what do we got? Something like that. Okay, good. So we want to pop our events in. So we will be using an initialization event later on. We do always want our on user, which is fine. So that's good going. Now, if you remember the technique that we had before, when we were looking at the event IDs on the toolbar, I use constants to represent those. So instead of referring to the toolbar elements by their event IDs, we use constants to help it be more readable as we're going along. And again, at the same time, I'm just copying a bit more code into here for you. What we've got here now is that we'll be when something happens on the UI, the event type we're checking for, I'm looking for a toolbar event, so anything that happens on the toolbar, and then it'll be checking for close, help, our list by, and anything else. I've just actually in this instance I've used the task dialog of the app designer rather than a message box, just to show you what's going on. So with the close, we can go to common callouts, and down here is close app. So that's how we do that. So what we'll need to do now with our help is to nip back and bang in a notepad pane and get that sorted out. So we'll just save that. We'll add a notepad. We'll give it properties here. So we'll call it help screen. And we'll tree view. Some app. Okay, on there, what we'll probably want to do on here is we want to make that we need to save the notepad content. If we don't tick this, then it will just assume that we don't want to save them, and we'll be presented with a blank screen, and we'll make it read only because we don't want anybody to type over it, which is fine. Quickly nip back to our edit script. And on our help, what we'll do, common call out. I know what I've made a mistake. Need to go back here and show it as a dialog box. And then we'll back into our code. Okay, so on the help here, we go to our common callouts and show dialog box, double click it. There's our help screen. So excellent. So we'll just simply save that. Just make sure everything's running. Okay, so there's our app. Press our help screen. Okay. And if we do file close. So I like to get to that point because it just proves I've got the basics going, my VB script and my events are working. And now I can put some thought to the real meat of actually what we want to do, which we'll do next.